Brothers and sisters, generals, welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion, thus E's House of Nature. And today we're sitting out on the patio looking on to the beautiful palm trees and the beautiful sun. You know, it's beautiful. The sun is really beautiful. Pay attention to it. And salute current subscriber, new subscriber. Anybody that view, want to salute you and thank you. Brother and sister, family in the world, online. Y'all know how I do it. Global perspective. It's a beautiful day in the middle town. I got the sun shining through the house, and Brother E will be getting out. And got to take some water to my mom, so I'm gonna do that. That'll be a trip I can take and stop by the store and get out and enjoy the beautiful weather. If we're fortunate to be somewhere in beautiful weather, you know, make the best of it. You know, time is precious, as we see on this here life that can be amazing sometimes. You know, of course, we go through the so-called storms, and every now and then we take a moment and breathe. And this is, of course, that's Ethan in the intro. His band is a live concert I went to, and I'm gonna let brothers and sisters hear when we wake up in the morning. This is the most pleasant thing to hear. I always said Mother Nature, connection with family, and hearing children play is the greatest frequency in the world. So, and you'll just hearing children play and having fun, because I live across the street from a school, and I volunteered yesterday, because I did say that. So I volunteered yesterday. It was beautiful yesterday too, and all the kids are doing well. Salute to the faculty and lunchroom supervisors, teachers, and it's beautiful when we all just put our heads together and come up with the best solution possible to keep children discipline, you know. But this is a good frequency too. I'm gonna play this for a minute, and then we're gonna get back to lose ourselves in that divine. And when we are in a divine zone, we're gonna get into that. A divine zone, brothers and sisters. But I'm gonna share Mama Nature just for a little bit, and things that can help us get into a divine zone to start our day. And good day, good afternoon, and good evening, whatever time zone one is in. So let's share this frequency for a minute. Then we're going to get back to the inner deep topic that we're going to speak on. So let's pause for the cause. Let's listen to the birds chirp. And this is actually real birds I heard one morning. It was so beautiful, I had to record it. So Mama Nature is beautiful when we pay attention. So let's listen to Mama Nature for a minute, and we'll be back. Welcome, brother. Yes, that was pre-recorded, but yeah, that was a sound I had recorded. I had to record that. That's the most beautiful. You gotta admit, that's the most beautiful sound in the world. It's like music, and you know, things that inspire us. So yeah, like I said, Mama Nature, hearing children play, and interconnecting. Notice I said interconnecting with family when we can through our challenges. Those are the best frequencies of the world, as that sound you just heard. And those were real birds chirping. Nothing more beautiful in life than authentic things that just keep us rooted and know that we're human. So, brothers and sisters, students, you always say leaders and teachers with a student spirit. Let's lose ourselves in that great, great divine. And once we lose ourselves in it, Great divine will set up a zone that protects us, even those we are connected to. Because I always say, when we go into deep meditation and or deep prayer, don't just think about superficial things. No, call down protection. Great divine, Mama Nature knows what we need, and the righteous ones will come. But place that protection over oneself, families, brothers and sisters we are connected to. We got to take that around serious. Gone are the days of thinking that spiritual world is real. No, I mean, it's weird, so to speak. It can be weird, not in a toxic way, because it's something that the human mind and body is not used to. But once we step into it and we start preventing things from happening, because again, that's what we do a lot of this studying for. Human nature and the Mama Nature is for good results, with ourselves, relationships, our health, our thinking process, which is a process. But we know when we lose ourselves in that great, great divine. So that's why I got things like this on the banner. It's like getting away from all the noise, as we say, and just chilling. So we chilling with E. You chilling with Brother E on the patio here. Again, looking off to the beautiful sunset, the beautiful palm tree, and we're just sitting at a getaway spot, on the patio. So that's where the environment begins, deep, deep within. So think of I'm letting you into EBX's world. So this is one's world. So have a seat for a little while, however long we talk, and have a good discussion. And whatever comes up in our spirit comes up. Of course, we're searching for good things that can help us. The good old mental, physical, and the good old spiritual. One can't work without the other. And I'm telling you, get off to a space where we be in our own world, but again, not cutting off everyone or everything, but just get into a space where we can stay motivated and cultivate, good righteous things, whatever that is. Remember, this is a open field, global perspective, and get into that divine zone, brothers and sisters. And once we feel it in our soul and we're headed in the right direction, do whatever it takes to stay in that divine zone. My spell breakers, like Lord Lamont said in a song he made called Young Lord, Young Mogul. Toward the end, he was at touchdown in the zone, touchdown, and now I'm in the zone. Yeah, he went in on that song. He was a little aggressive, but I like how we broke that song down. And because we all go through our seasons and metamorphosis, so to speak. I've heard brothers say that, and we all go through our changes, however way we go through, especially when we're seeking to do better and greater. So that was one of those transformation songs for Lord Lamont. But I loved it. I loved the aggression. And I told him I wanted him to do a Young Lord, Young Mogul too. Again, he went in a little bit and went a little hard and was aggressive. But it's his energy I love in that song. Yeah, because toward the end, he go, hey, hey, hey. I always make fun of him at the end of that song. Sometimes I'll play it. But yeah, he definitely have a lot of creativity in him. And Lord Lamont's very versatile. He likes different genres of music. Of course, like I said, he can play the guitar. Again, I'll reiterate, Ethan plays the French horn, and Ethan's sister Angel plays the viola. So it's beautiful when our young youth can create great gifts and become a righteous warrior. Because as I said, Lord Lamont been a warrior. So that story he told me at age 9 when he stood up in class against things he just didn't agree with as far as the system in school. He was like, that was the most amazing story from Lord Lamont. He has a very, he has a heck of a mind, a heaven of a mind, and very insightful and creative, and he's really tapped into his deeper self. Of course, he has his challenges too, as we all do. But when we get to a space when we finally know oneself, we lose ourselves in that great, great divine. And we have a beautiful frequency, like those birds chirping I was playing. And you hear that sound. If you really listen to it, you can tell it's not AI. Because if you really got your ears and one spirit tuned in, but it really takes a sound mind and really receiving and listening, you can tell the difference between the sound of an AI or authentic nature sound. And if you really listen to it, you can tell those are real birds. and you can hear, because it was a plane flying overhead, you could hear the plane too. So, and that was just a beautiful sound. Yep, and I had to play that and let those listen to that, because it's very refreshing, and it relates to the banner, because just imagine you waking up like this banner here, and you're hearing the beautiful birds chirping, and it's just a wonderful way to wake up and continue building that divine zone. Like again, like Lord Lamont said in the song, touchdown, touchdown in the zone. Now here, now in the zone. Yeah, Lord Lamont. Yeah, just be again thankful for our youth. And again, I volunteered yesterday. It's wonderful, and it's nice how it's inspiring how the children will show that they miss you. When you haven't seen them in a while. And again, I've been volunteering 3 or 4 years now, so it's really been a wonderful experience and learn a lot of stuff, because just as much as we teach children, we can learn from them too. So we got to let children express themselves. Just guide them and show them the righteous way. Teach them to be as disciplined as possible, deep within that core, because you can never go wrong. Yep, because we learn from a teacher, and sometimes only feel good from a preacher, because we need teachings. We need, again, I've said this before, but I think it's important. We need teachings and things we can learn from that impact us for life, and things in our memory bank that'll come up that'll just keep teaching us, and pass it on to the generals before us. Young brother, young sister, young male, young female, because that's what it's about, generating generals, because we got young generals in this life too that want to learn, and some that just may not be aware. That's why I say when we out and about, whether we're at the job, gas station, grocery store, anywhere, we see a young youth, if we can, we don't want to be, looking at people or getting in people's business, because we're living in a weird ass, I heard a brother say, a bizarro world. So just got to be careful. But if we can, say a positive word or do something positive, pass on that positive energy, because that's how we do it. And just little small moments that we have, positive moments, interactions with people, sometimes that could change a person's life. Because I always say, me and Lord Lamont, we speak on this. We just never know what one may be harboring deep within or going through, And of course, use our discernment. We know who we can help or suggest or do something positive for, or say something positive. Let our discernment do the talking and the walking. Some people just don't want to be bothered, but it's okay. Again, sometimes people just going through things, just a positive gesture. Something as small as opening up the door. I see a lot of people do that. Now, I'm proud of a lot of people that I run into, and it's black or white, actually, that open the door a lot. I've been running into a lot of that. There was a brother that opened the door yesterday when I went to the store to get something. I was coming back from volunteering at Ethan's school. Salute. And Ethan is funny, too. I swear, Ethan is so funny. And he called me last night while I was at work. He's like, Dad, don't forget the pancakes, because he wanted some pancakes. Ethan's something else. That's another thing I noticed about children. I'm going to get back to what I was saying about the opening up the door. I've been running into a lot. But something I noticed about children, when you tell a child you're going to do something, you better make sure you're going to do it. Don't tell a child you're going to do something if you don't plan on doing it, because a child never forgets, real talk. Because Ethan has a best friend that he kick it with, and sometimes he come over to his house and he celebrate his birthday and stuff like that. So him and Ethan was I wouldn't say an altercation, but they was like fighting over some chips or something like that. I said, look, will you guys just share the chips? And I told his friend, which his name is see if I can remember his friend's name. His friend got a smooth name. JV, it's Javion or something like that. I might have said his name wrong. Julian or something like. He had a real cool name. Cool little dude, cool little brother. And I was like, well, when I see you again, man, I bring you some chips. Just you and Ethan share the chips right now. And I didn't see him for a little while. Do you know, when I got back, he did, and I forgot a couple times. Said, remember you said you was gonna give me the chips. So chips. I'm just using that as an example. How when we tell a child we're gonna do something, we better do it, especially if it's something important. Something that'll help them. But chips is just a snack. It ain't something he need. But I'm just giving an example how children don't forget. And I always say, and I say this a lot, but never underestimate the intuition of a child. And they can feel too. They can feel. Children can feel when a person is good or bad. They can discern that, even if they don't say it. They'll show it in their future behaviors. Now, I think I said that in the last podcast, but it's true. It's facts. So that's why we have to be as disciplined as possible, because energy is everything. It's more than just sounding smooth or powerful. No, energy is real. And children, especially melanated children, I have to say, they can feel things. But but I was just saying the chip thing example. He never forgot them chips. Every time I see him, hey, Ethan's dad, because that's what all the kids call me. Ethan's dad, you forget? Remember you said he's gonna bring the chips? Like, oh man, I forgot him. I forgot him. So yesterday, I actually brought him something healthy. It's called Natural Valley. It's like a kind of granola bar or something like that. But I didn't know it had peanut butter in it. But it was actually healthy. It's called Natural Valley or something. It's like it don't have no sweeteners in it or something like that. So I was gonna give him that because I didn't have any chips. So I took that. He's like, I can't eat peanut butter. So, oh man, you don't eat peanut butter? Because I didn't know it had peanut butter in it. So the young sister in front of him had chips, and she's like, oh, I like it. I give him chips. So I was like, so he's like, well, can you trade that for this? So she gave him the chips, and he gave her the candy bar. So it worked out. So just amazing. So now I was like, I'm just giving him because I owed him this. It ain't because he was special, because you can't bring one child something and not bring all the other kids, because I brought all the other kids stuff too in the past. But I just did that because I owed him that. It's just little moments like that, just little interactions that how we connect with children, that can lead from one divine thing to the next, especially when we lose ourselves in that great divine, and we include others in that divine zone. We get in those meditative moments, like I say, set that tone every day, keep our mind, body, and soul intact. One can't work without the other. Facts. I told y'all I'd be rhyming. I don't be meaning to. It's just in my blood, in my DNA. It runs throughout my family. Real talk. But yeah, as I was another thing that's great in that divine zone. It's like, again, divine and Mama Nature would just place things on our path. It just sometimes learning lessons, and sometimes beautiful moments. Like I said about the opening of the door. I've been running into a lot of that. People, hey, open up the door for you, and because I started doing it, it's like, I don't know. That's why I said energy is real. We do what we put out, it does come back. We see this, but it's like when we're just doing what we're supposed to do in life as a brother, sister, or family, things are just righteous things will just pop out of nowhere when you're not looking for it. That's when amazing things will happen, not this, not plagiarizing this cosmic, like you just overall cosmic powerful person, but we can be, but don't think we're better than people or think we're just, just be, how about we just be cosmic, just be cosmic naturally, and amazing things will happen. And just, again, especially melanated brothers and sisters can feel vibes. And I experience this when I'm out and about, whether store, gas station, grocery store, et cetera, even in traffic, driving. I always say how a person drives kind of says who they are, people cutting in and out of traffic, cutting people off. They probably pretty much have a chaotic life, See, that's observation, I could be wrong, could be right, but to me, that's selfish. Person that's cutting everybody off, trying to get in front of everybody. If that ain't selfish, I don't know what is. Because everybody on the road has somewhere to go. So a person that's cutting in and out of traffic, impatient, what makes them better than anybody else? So I observe this on the street a lot. It used to make me mad, but now I don't even care, So it's better, a person that's driving reckless and all that, it's better for him to be in front of us than behind us. At least we can see where the hell they're at, Let their ass go on. It's ridiculous, though. Yeah, especially in the inner city, big cities, and not just Milltown. I'm sure other cities, Chicago, New York. What's another big city? Probably Atlanta. I'm sure California probably have crazy, but New York, I have to say, because I've been to New York. New York has a lot of traffic, but more organized. I noticed that people can drive in New York, because I remember when I was married and my wife and I, like I said, we used to travel a lot. And my wife and I, we split up. It wasn't nothing really bad. It's just, we were young. Things just didn't work out. But I don't regret, being married to her. It was great. She was, man, I'm telling you, she was very adventurous. She was always doing stuff. So that's what I liked about her. But we did go to New York. And I remember we went to this church, and this pastor we was riding with, he could drive, man. He was eating a piece of chicken, talking on the phone, and driving, and was driving his butt off. And he had like 2 or 3 cars trailing him because we was going to the church. And they was like in sync with each other. He did a U-turn right in the middle of busy traffic. I was like, wow, this dude can drive. And I didn't even feel scared. It's like I felt secure. He knew what he was doing. So that's when I knew. I was like, man, New Yorkers can drive. Real talk. We had a good time in New York. Yep. I remember all the restaurants. I think it was New York. Was it New York? Because we went to a couple places. We went to Chicago too. Chicago had a lot of restaurants. Well, it was one restaurant. I think we went to an Italian restaurant in Chicago. In New York, I think I remember this strip. It was a bunch of different restaurants. It was, man, Jamaican, African, you name it. I can't remember all the restaurants, but I remember it was just one boulevard, and it was full of all different kinds of cultures and restaurants, like Mexican, and I don't know if Chinese. I don't remember Chinese, but I remember African. I remember Jamaican, um, Cuban, yeah, Mexican, and it was all up and down this strip. So that was a good time. I remember that. We went a lot of places. We went to Florida, St. Louis. We went everywhere. Of course, Milltown. You know, yep. So, may she do well. I'm sure she's doing well. Salute to my son Ethan. Not well, Ethan too, but Elijah. As I said, I got 2 daughters and another son. A daughter, Andrea, Naya, and Elijah. And those 3 I haven't spoke to in a while, and they stay in different cities and states. And I have tried to reach out. I have tried to reach out in the past and have spoke to Naya's mom. She said Naya was doing all right, and she said Andrea was doing all right. And I did speak to Elijah's brother, but it's been years. It's been a couple years. But last I spoke, I heard from Elijah's brother he was doing well, and I'm sure he's doing all right. So yep. So I'll keep those updated on that. But yeah, I've been running into a lot of people opening up doors that I was speaking on. I went to the store yesterday when I came back from volunteering. Salute to the faculty and the children. Had a ball yesterday. It was cracking jokes, and it was a couple of sisters was in they was in the lunchroom doing the Carlton dance. Y'all know from the show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They was in there dancing. This one lady walked up and she was doing the Carlton. It was funny. It's beautiful when one can have fun like that. Just beautiful, fun moments. Because these jobs and stuff like that, and we can really turn into robots. So it's nice just to be fun and adventurous and just do stuff out of nowhere. And that's what I seen when I was at volunteering yesterday. I just seen a sea of smiles and people laughing and having fun. It's wonderful to see that, especially when in the workplace. And we got older sisters that are lunchroom attendants, and the one lady be hollering, all right, now y'all shut up. Y'all come on, now what you want? You want jelly? You want celery? Come on, now, next, come on, get your milk, get on. It's funny though. How them older sisters is, them aunties, them older aunties. Yeah, like the aunties we had back in the day. Now it's a couple of sisters that work. I got them right. Matter of fact, they're on here on one's channel. I put it in the end screen in a recent podcast I just did, and their picture is on the thumbnail. And I spoke on Principal Nichols, who's a brother who was a principal at this school. And I know it's not easy being a principal. People judge. I wouldn't say speakers, but like parents. Some, not all parents, but some parents, they judge Principal Nichols and stuff. But you have to put yourself in that position to see how it would be to be a principal, because you got your parents you can work with, and you got those. Unfortunately, you got some of those ghetto parents that you have to deal with. So when I met him, the first time I met the brother, Principal Nichols, I'm gonna get back to the brother opening the door for me too, because I want to finish that, because that's a good example. When we're in that divine zone, when we lose ourselves in it, people can feel the energy, especially melanated brothers and sisters like Principal Nichols that works at that's the principal at my son's school, Ethan, and Sister Chloe, which is Ethan's sister. She's on the 3rd floor, and I volunteer on the 2nd floor. But Principal Nichols is cool. First time we met each other, we connected, because my son Ethan was having a little altercation with another student, And I was like, I didn't come in there all mad and angry. I was like, well, let's see what's wrong with the other child. Because he was kind of, I don't know. He just like he kept messing with Ethan or something like that. And I said, well, let's talk to him. Maybe something going on in the home. Let's see what's going on, why he's acting that way. And I guess that was the first time he was like impressed that I volunteered at that moment. I grabbed the paper and filled it out. And I've been volunteering ever since. And that was 4 years ago. And been cool with him ever since. Now, again, I've missed weeks here and there, days here and there, but been pretty consistent. I even got a shirt. Me and Lord Lamont spoke on it. It's called FBI, and it's called Fathers Being Involved. Yeah, and it says FBI on the shirt. Then at the bottom, it says Fathers Being Involved. And people see that, they get that weird look because they say FBI. And nope, it's at the bottom now. I'm not FBI. But it's cool. When I got that shirt at, it was Father Brings Son to School Day, and all the fathers. That was beautiful too. And I've got video footage of fathers being at school. That's here on the channel too. Matter of fact, I put that in the end screen. It's another older brother that I met. I can't call his name at the moment, so I put him in the end screen. And he's an older gentleman, good brother, has worked with kids for decades, and he was up in his later, close to 70 or mid 70s or something like that. Mr. Henry, that's his name, Mr. Henry. And I'm gonna put that in the end screen because I want to inspire people and really get, and just give advice. Like I said, I suggest, teach, and give advice, and just opening up the door of suggestion to people volunteering and really getting involved in these schools. Real talk, and you'll only thank yourself later. And I'm telling you, you will see the changes in your child. I'm telling you, again, never underestimate the intuition of a child. They see and hear and feel everything, and if we're not paying attention to signs and ways we can prevent things from happening, how we'll know they have seen and heard or felt things, we'll see it in their behavior. So we can't just jump on them on things. We got to talk to them and communicate with them too. Can't just spank them all the time. Of course we get a little aggressive because we got to show tough love, but communicate with our children too, best way we can. Always keep that communication open so they won't hide things. No more woulda, coulda, shouldas. We've all been through them woulda, coulda, shouldas. So we learn from it, and we seek to have righteous results. And like I said, going back to the brother that opened the door, I went to the store. I was so impressed, and I wasn't even nowhere near. And I did this for a brother too. He was getting out of his car. I was at a gas station. And he was kind of a ways away. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to open up the door. Because some people be rude like that. You see somebody walking up, boom, you just shut the door. I mean, I'm telling you, in my opinion and or theory, Great Divine and Mama Nature watches little moments like that. I mean, it watches the big moments too. But I think it really pays attention to the small moments. Little things that the world really don't see. Again, that secret connection to that Great Divine is the moments the world don't see. That's what Great Divine will magnify and turn the lights on, like I said in the recent podcast. Yeah, but I went to the store and I was just speaking, and I'm always, I always try, I be positive. I'm all positive all the time, and just come in and and the store clerk go, hey, what's up, man? What's going on? And and they hey, my friend, because most of them are the Indian guys, but they be cool with me though. They ain't never done nothing to me, So I just go in there, hey, my brother, what's going on? You getting this today? Or if I ain't been there in a while, hey, you ain't been here in a while. It's just cool, kind of talk and interact with. And it's always a brother that's standing there. I think he's like kind of security or something. And now, I say something. I'm like, hey, what's up, brother? How you doing? He said, ain't nothing, brother. What's good with you? I said, shoot, nothing, man. Just enjoying this beautiful day and stuff like that. It makes people feel good, And he opened up the door for me. I'm like, thank you, brother. So I felt like a king, And it's beautiful when people can just feel, like I said, really, like I said, never underestimate the intuition of a child. That's the same thing for adults. Like I said, people, especially melanated, but I would say people overall, people can get a good sense if you're a good, genuine person, male or female, brother or sister, younger or older, or family. So that's the, righteous results, good vibrations. That's why we lose ourselves in that great divine. Do as much as we can to impact humanity and our culture, small or big. Let that great divine let us shine. But never ever Get out of that great divine zone. Like I said, Lord Lamont said in that song, touchdown, touchdown, I'm in the zone. Touchdown, touchdown, I'm in the zone. Yeah, young Lord, young Mogul. I told him he needed to do a part two because he was a little aggressive and he was kind of said the B word, but he was going through his creative process. He was finding himself, so to speak. But but I'm telling you, Lord Lamont and myself and those in my family and just brothers and sisters in general that are general standing firm. A lot of us have been through, some of us have been through more than others, but man, have been through the most. That's what make us firm, strong, vigilant, and seeing what's before us and beyond. Balance is beautiful when we can practice it, know it, have it, embrace it. Humbly, not naive, humble, but humble nonetheless. Again, lose ourselves to that great, great divine and celebrate life, waking up every day, like that intro of those instruments playing. Like I said, that was a piece called The Jungle Theme, and it had all the instruments in it. I love those instruments, man. I love percussions and the drum and the flutes and the violins and the trumpets and the little tink, 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 and the bass drum and the French horn, the viola and the violin, because there was a lot of instruments. There was a lot of children too that were playing a lot of instruments. I was just so amazed. And like I said, it was a live concert that what you hear in the background. I went, Nika, Pretty Brown, look for that on here on the channel too, on Lord Lamont and I's channel, and also look for a father and son discussion Saturday. I don't know what we're going to be speaking on, but by the time, that'll be tomorrow. But Lord Lamont and I will come up with something. I'm sure he'll message me. Yeah, but it was a wonderful concert, and it was beautiful to go to it. I went, Sister Angel, which is Ethan's sister, and his mom. We all went. And Sister Chloe, we all went. And I got video footage of it. It's on here on the channel. And it was a wonderful time. It was beautiful to hear all those instruments live. And everybody was clapping. And it was another one of those beautiful moments. So hold on to those beautiful moments in life. That's when great divine is shining on us. And you know why? Because we losing ourselves in that great divine. We gone. So that leads me right into the hip hop breaks. And the first song is We in the Zone. We Gone. And I got a page I want to read from my book, Solitude Strength. I got a page and a half because I started writing a page yesterday. As I said previously or in the past, I write my pages when I'm volunteering at Ethan's school because I got my little desk in the hallway. And I'm going to put one of the podcasts I'm volunteering where it shows the school hallway just to kind of give those who's listening, my spell breakers, a fellow spell breakers that Lord Lamont came up with, just to give those an idea of where my desk be, and because it's real quiet in the hallway. It's so peaceful in the hallway. So that's why I do one's writing. It's kind of a form of meditation. So that's why I write in my books. Remember, I got 2 books, Unlocking the Vault and Solitude Strength. And I've completed Unlocking the Vault. I've done 50 pages, and a lot of those pages I read on those volunteering episodes. And again, I've done about 14 episodes, and I put one in the end screen. And it was another one. Oh, I put a volunteering episode in the end screen. And the video, I got video footage of Father Takes Son to School Day. I got video footage of that with Mr. Henry speaking. It's just a small little, like a 7-8 minute footage. So I put that in the end screen just to get those, bring people up to speed. What Brother E be doing, and it's not about, bragging or showing what we do. It's about sharing, and inspiring others to get involved also. It'll just help you and benefit you in the future because that's what it's about. Results, brothers and sisters. So again, I wrote a page and a half in Solitude Strength, and I've completed Unlocking the Vault, 50 pages. And again, I don't know if I'm going to publish them or not. It's just something I like to do because that example I used from Bruce Lee, don't write to impress, write to release what's in one's subconscious authentically. It was a time I couldn't say that. Authentically. It's a beautiful word when it's an action note and we're living it. Yep. So that's what inspired me, one, to write. I've always written. I've been writing rhymes since the 90s. But now I do I mean, you can call it composition, journal. I like to call it a book. Yep, because that's what I write in, composition. Yep, so I'm going to read page 10 and page 11. When we come back from this hip-hop break, and I am going to have 2 spell breaker statements. So let's get to this hip-hop break. And again, salute to Ethan for that authentic sound in the background. We're going to outro out with that. Yep, and let me see. It might outro with the bird chirping in the end. Yep, I think I might do that just to leave a refreshing thought in one's mind, psyche, and spirit. Yep, and see, the first song is In the Zone. And see, and the next one is Respect. Where'd it go? Let me see. Excuse me for a minute, folks. Excuse me for the pause. Okay. Yep, the first song is In the Zone, and I played this before. And the next one is Honor and Respect, which is man, when you got honor and respect for oneself, you honor and respect others. Like I said, about opening the door and doing, positive gestures and saying positive things when we out and about. That's how we make that action come back. Divine action. When we put out what we get back. This things like that. That's what will make that righteous return be a blessing. Real talk. What we put out divinely will come back divinely. So stay in that divine zone. Be back after this. Brothers and sisters, man, I'm in a zone. Get in your divine zone, brothers and sisters. Find your gift. Brother, I'm gone. Man, I'm in a zone. Brothers and sisters, I'm in a zone. Sister, I'm gone. Yeah, man, I'm in a zone. Brother, I'm gone. Man, I'm in a zone. Yeah, man, I'm gone. Sister, I'm gone. I can be sweet, when we can see. I keep my mind free. I stay focused, man, you and me. And the family, with that divine to the end of time. I just let it flow. I don't have to grind. I let the spirit shine. I hear discipline. I don't have to whine. Connect to oneself, and that is the key. Yeah, stand tall, never get on our knees, and we can be a beast, a righteously. I never gonna stop. This who we be, brothers and sisters. Man, I'm in a zone. Brother, I'm gone. Yeah. Man, I'm in a zone. Yeah. Sister, I'm gone. Brothers and sisters, do what I can. Here I stand, not confused. I know who I am. I listen to these words that I'm saying. All about change. I lift your brain. This is real life, and there ain't no fucking game. Do the right thing, man. There is no shame. Show me some love, and I'll do the same. Raising the mass, there is one aim. Man, I'm in a zone. Brother, I'm gone. Man, I'm in a zone. Sister, I'm gone. Brothers and sisters, I'm in a zone. Brother, I'm gone. Man, I'm in a zone. Sister, I'm gone. Brothers and sisters, yeah. Do what we gotta do in this life, you know what I'm saying? Stay strong, stay firm. Connect to our families, even in spirit. Call on that great protection from that great divine zone. Brother, I'm gone. Man, I'm in a zone. Brothers and sisters, I'm in a zone. Brother, I'm gone. Man, I'm in a zone. Sister, I'm gone. Brothers and sisters, yeah. Real talk. That's what you say to yourself, when it comes to toxicity. Man, I'm gone. Yeah, I'm in a zone. Brothers and sisters, dang it, I'm gone. Man, I'm in a great divine zone. Real talk. That's what we in right now. We in the zone. Touchdown, in the zone, touchdown. I don't know why it's just in my spirit for some reason. Yep, I love that part. I'm telling you, he got it in. Lord Lamont got it in on that. That's why I say he need to make a young mogul part 2. Yep, now let's get to honor and respect, because respect goes a long way. Real talk, give ourselves time to understand and overstand things, person, place, thing in this life. Yep. So I'll be back after this, and I got a couple of affirmations, and I'm going to read a page and a half, because I got to finish page 11, page 10. When we get back, of solitude, strength, a place where we build deflection and also develop a sense of seeing things that are important in ourselves, our loved ones, and our generals out here. That's sending out that great divine vibration. You know why? Because we lose ourselves in that great divine when nothing can stop us. But this is a process, and once we've made it through the lessons and the teachings great divine Mama Nature give us, we are now in that divine zone. But honor and respect, is the best respect. Nothing like honor, just honoring thyself, brother and sister, family, and teach who wants to be taught. Honor and respect, brothers and sisters, can never go wrong. Be back after this.
I say honor and respect is what we should display. Don't you say? Honor and respect goes a long way. Never be afraid. Listen to what I say. And know I see the things going on every day. And this is why I get it out and I lay. And the person for my brothers and my sisters, never missing what you got. Opportunities never missing, cause we choose what we do. And we never will lose. Seeing clear, reawaken, never be confused. Righteous things in this life is what we choose. Never be down, we can make it. And we always be brand new. Honor and respect, gotta keep it in the heart. Fuck be the star. Good things is how we make it far. I say honor and respect go the long way. When you say honor and respect is what we should display. When you say it feels so good when brothers and sisters stick it together, any kind of weather, and to never let our love sever each other and stay true. I won't hate on you, cause I don't know in this life what you've been through. I get it out my soul, the only way that I can flow. I want my brothers and sisters in this world to just glow. Woo! You know why? Cause I got honor and respect goes a long way. When you say honor and respect is what we should display. When you say, I say honor and respect, it goes a long way. When you say, yeah, honor and respect is what we should display. Don't you say, when you say, every day, honor and respect is what we should display. Yeah, keep respect, always respect yourself and respect others, and others respect you. Stay true, my soldiers and soldierettes. Salute. Yeah.
Real talk. Honor and respect, it goes a long way. When you say. All right, let's get back to the Mo to the Joe. And I'm not going to do the bird chirping at the end. I was going to do the bird chirping at the end, but I'm going to play that from time to time though. But we're going to outro out with the celebration of the instruments and the jungle theme that we had in the intro. We're going to outro with that, because that's what it is. It sounds like celebration, brothers and sisters, because that's what we should do every day we wake up, because there were those that went to sleep for the last time. Ponder that. So that's why we celebrate life and do whatever it takes to keep our mind, body, and soul healthy as possible, and lose ourselves in that great, great divine, and go through all the lessons and the so-called hurdles and deflecting things and staying within oneself and stay in that divine zone. You can never go wrong, brothers and sisters. So let's get into it. Leaders and teachers with a student spirit. I got 2 affirmations, or should I say 2 spell breaker statements, and a page and a half out of my book, Solitude, Strength. So let's go. Leaders and teachers with a student spirit. One chooses to live a life free of anxiety, like a podcast I did yesterday. Pinpoint any anxiety within ourselves, in the world. Don't carry any anxiety. Where there's a will, there's a way. So tap in to that divine power, because anybody can possess it. It's not impossible. It's just a matter of staying in tune with one spirit, And you never go wrong. Stay with it. Stay on top of it. Even when things are going good. Stay vigilant then too. Never become too comfortable. Stay in that what? Divine zone. All right. Spellbreaker statement. That was spellbreaker statement number 1. Let's go to spellbreaker statement number 2. We are capable of finding solutions to our so-called worries, but never worry, never stress. Where there's a will, there's a way. Like I said, any challenge, if a health challenge, do whatever it takes to be the strongest part of ourselves. But thinking negative, thinking daunting, dark, evil, rotten thoughts is never going to help. It all begins with a righteous thought. Like Malcolm X said, rest in peace and in power. Righteous thoughts, righteous action. Good thought leads to we think right, we act right. We think right, we talk right. We think right, we walk right. Yep. So the body always follows the mind. Facts. So stay whatever our mind is what our body's going to be, because the body is going to do what it do. And listen to signs in our cells and our bodies, synchronicities, things like that. Because we see signs all the time. We do. Sometimes, like, we get those moments like, what's that? Those little moments that we know it was something there, but we didn't pay any attention to it. I've learned not to do that. Little signs we see in life, I learned to stop on that. Like, what does that mean? Whether it's good or bad, It's nice studying oneself and figuring things out about ourselves. It's beautiful. Like I said, make ourselves our best project. Be amazed what we'll find out about ourselves. Anything to strengthen us, keep us strong. And so we don't put burden on others, especially we got what? Children, family, significant other, got to think about our behaviors. And we stand firm in the future and always be in the present. I meant to say stand firm in the present. So the future can be a breeze, because I said before, I say it again. We all gonna get old one day. So one better lose themselves in being as right as possible and in that divine. You can never go wrong. Like I said, things we've blazed through, things we've come through that we can't explain. What do you think done that? Whatever's out there, we can put different names on it. I think pretty much all of us have experienced moments in our lives that helped us and propelled us, or we made a right choice when we could have made a wrong choice. Something popped in our spirit and made us make that right choice. See, those are divine moments, and that's what I'm talking about. Keep studying things like that. Get even stronger. I think it sharpens our discernment when we study little moments we can't explain, especially moments we have where nobody sees. Study those areas. Those are the secret connections to Mama Nature and that great divine. Facts. So lose ourselves in that divine and stay in that divine zone. Let no devil in hell in. Airtight divine zone. Real talk. And connect with family, brothers and sisters. Remember, they're in that zone too. Kind of like that realm I always talk about. It's not just for oneself, but we protect ourselves, get to know ourselves, meditate as much as we can, and become best friends with our spirit, but share it to others too, so we can generate generals, because it's good to get things and, because I've had help along the way and been inspired by people. So we don't shut off any and everything, because something I haven't said in a while that I love to say, what one person don't have, another person have. Whether one brother got something, another brother. It's like a puzzle piece. We just got to know that all of us have something to bring to the table, whatever that is, Never compare, because that's danger. Great Divine gave us all a little something, we just got to know that. When we lose ourselves in that divine, we will know that, All right, so that was the 2 spellbreaker statements. Now I'm going to read a page, like I said, a page and a half from my book, Solitude Strength. And then I'm going to salute you divine warriors on to your divine life, or generals, fellow spellbreakers, that is. And so let's get to it. Leaders and teachers with a student spirit. This is page 10 from my book, Solitude Strength. And it's 4/24/26 is when I wrote it. I like putting the date. All right, let's go. Divine focus is the greatest weapon against the devil, a negative force that can come as a beacon of light. We have to be very, very careful of that. Real talk. Do not take our mind, body, and soul for granted. do whatever it takes to maintain strength in these areas or any area. Yep, one can't work without the other. And an unprotected mind and soul is dangerous. Divine vision is a beautiful gift, wielded gracefully, or suffer in thy own hell. Thus, mental prison. The ability to help others with divine discernment is a great gift. Firmness is our greatest defense, right? Firmness. Create powerful, positive outcomes. We will love ourselves for life and not just later. Real talk. Like, create positive outcomes. Just be intentional. Don't make things happen, but like I said, out and about, just do little positive gestures. Don't be in our head all the time, and that's kind of a reminder for me, because I have to tell myself that sometimes I be like that on the job, and I just be focused. That's all. And it's a difference between being in your head and being focused. But I can be honest. Maybe sometimes brother might be in his head. So I taught myself when I'm out and about, just communicate, talk, be amazed, things we'll find out or learn, So, and we share that energy to others, but in a humble way, not in a naive way. It's beautiful to have moments like that. And then, see, that's the go around, come around thing that the righteous, I'm talking about in a positive way. Because those we interact with in a positive way and connect with, whether it's online or in the world or just in general, we see them down the road like, oh man, I remember you did this and you did that. That's how that great divine works. We just never know. That's why one can't carry hate, bitterness, evil things, rotten things in the core, because it'll blind you from the beautiful things that we can experience in life that'll just, man, it do something to our soul, our heart, But we be firm. We stay the generals, Turn that discernment up. We got that discernment for a reason. It ain't about being weak, being naive. Some things we pull back from, some things we step into, We learn this. Yep, but stay in that divine zone nonetheless. So that was page 10, and forgive me for fumbling my own reading. All right, now we're going to flip over to page 11, which was 5/13/26. Let me see. That was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 5/13/26. All right, page 11. And this is only half of it. I got to finish the rest of it. Yep. Thank that divine every day for ourselves, children, and family. Remember, I said don't make it a selfish thing. When we get into deep meditation and or prayer, make it a selfless act. We'll still get what we want or need, but send that protection over our families too. Like I said about my mom, she's always praying. My mom prays all the time. She prays for the family, even if she not getting along with, she still prays. She always have done that. She still does. And I think that's powerful when one really feels it to the pit of that soul. I think one can make can put things out in motion into the universe, but one has to be true to that soul, and and really know that their prayer is effective. We talking about like the DMX type prayer, that type of prayer. So yeah, it all depends on who's driving the vehicle. Ponder that. All right. Thank that divine every day. Because there was those that went to sleep for the last time. Remember that. Thank that divine every day for ourselves, children, family, because that's where we come from. Always have something positive to build or look forward to. Everyone has a right to express themselves as long as it's righteous, because we all have to go through our season. Something I told Lord Lamont, and my mom kind of told him that in so many words. Some worse than others. Make ourselves our best project. Some I say a lot, work on ourselves, work hard on ourselves. Not like a job, but do whatever it takes to get to that authentic, beautiful part of ourselves that just flows freely. I'm talking about righteously, not ignorant or blissfully dumb. Not like that, Because especially if we got children, family, significant others we are connected to. Because even the core of our thoughts matter. When we say what we put out, what we get back, that goes for inner thoughts too, when no one else is around. Because I said it before, I say it again. The most important relationship we'll ever need or experience in this life before any other is that one with ourselves, that great divine, and Mama Nature. So thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX Discussion, thus E's House of Nature. And thank those for sitting on the patio with me and looking on to the beautiful sunlight and again the beautiful palm trees and the beautiful nature. I always have that on the banner and or thumbnail, and just showing this again, inviting those in to EBX world. This is what goes on in my mind. This is how I feel in my soul. And I like to share it with a current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view, brother, sister, family in the world online. And I'm gonna get out in nature today. It's very beautiful in the Milltown. It's 75. It's beautiful. And yep, right. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to take some water out to my mom and get out here and maneuver. And Ethan's in school right now, and I'll speak to him later. And Lord Lamont and I will have music in the future, as well as L'Oreal Lyrical. Rest in peace and in power. Look for music from her. And father and son discussion, thus EBX and Lord Lamont show, which will be tomorrow. And it'll probably be around, maybe a little around 3-ish, a little after 3-ish, somewhere around in there, in that ballpark. But yeah, look for that and more EBX discussions in E's House of Nature. So thank those for stopping in, coming into E's house. Again, to look beautiful on the banner, imagine us just sitting there, chilling, having a wonderful conversation. Brother, sister, family, And like I said, if you learn nothing else from me on this channel, stay locked in and lose ourselves in that great, great divine, and just remember what it took to get us where we are. Brother, sister, family in the world online. Stay the spell breakers we have been and that we are. And I want us to be firm generals and never ever lose, that righteous warrior spirit that we have developed in the belly of our soul, because it's beautiful. And stay within that great, great divine zone. Salute.